and they were going to win. So, for the first time in a long time, Fee Collier actually kind of cooked Angel Reese.
After one preseason game, Angel Reese faced reality more forcefully. The Lynx gave her a chilly reprimand, complete with frostbite shots and clanking defense. Somewhere in the midst of the chaos, Angel's confidence packed a suitcase. Was it nerves, or did the WNBA simply say, "Welcome, rookie, now sit down"? In any case, that's not the beginning she had in mind, but we can't stop watching it. Let's examine what went wrong.
You know what I love watching? I love watching her highlights of missing shots. She's got to be the worst shooter you've met in your life.
After two preseason games that resembled an awkward high school tryout more than the start of a WNBA rookie campaign, it's officially panic time in Chicago. At least for the Angel Reese is the future fan club. Angel Reese may want to see if her crown is still covered by warranty because, while Caitlin Clark is out here casually breaking ankles and draining logo threes like it's a warm-up, Rhea is just trying to find the rim without drawing a foul or losing a rebound to Camila Cardoso. Spoiler alert, she's losing both.
Francis, before a game or after a game or during practice for real, you rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you miss so many layups and so bad?
Angel, let's be completely honest. The best way to characterize Reese's preseason performance would be generously underwhelming. She scored a meager 10 points against the Lynx, shooting 2 for 8 from the field. That's 2 baskets in 25 minutes, or 1 basket for every 12.5 minutes on the court. If that pace keeps up, someone should start providing juice boxes to encourage participation, as this is not the dominance fans were hoping for. 3 rebounds is cool if you're a shooting guard, but when you're the supposed paint bully and you get outboarded by your own teammate who just arrived, that's awkward.
We got to talk about Angel Reese missing out on these press conferences all the time. What is this really about? Here's a girl, right, who loves to be in everybody's face, loves to be on front center, right? Always on TikTok, always on Instagram, always on YouTube with her podcast. Never during press conferences, before a game or after a game or during practice for real, you rarely ever hear from Angel Reese. And my question is why? Why don't you like to talk basketball, Angel? Is it because you miss so many layups and so bad at basketball for real?
Caitlin Clark, on the other hand, is having a completely different preseason experience. Yet she came out firing, making threes, and running the court like she pays rent on it as if it were the championships. In a game that ended before Angel Reese could receive a 4th foul, her team, the Indiana Fever, scored 108 points. Clark was leading the attack like an experienced veteran, while Reese was still figuring out how to balance being an eager cheerleader and an off-ball decoy.
Wait a minute. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for elevating the WNBA dump. I thought Angel Reese was responsible for taking the dump and turning it into an unmonetizable turd. Now, to her credit, it is a nicely polished turd. It almost looks appealing. Almost. Of course, it's still not appealing enough to generate profit, but I guess the WNBA is taking baby steps. I mean, what's one more year of multi-million-dollar losses? I thought Angel Reese was the star of stars, the icon of icons. That's what the mainstream media keeps telling me. Headline at Forbes from last month. How Angel Reese and Asia Wilson are leading the WNBA's growth.
However, here is the true jerk. Yes, the other rookie on the sky, Camila Cardoso, who doesn't feature on podcast circuits or in Reebok advertisements, is quietly transitioning into that power forward role with a natural 13 points, 9 rebounds, and a ton of please pardon me, Angel. She's snatching the rebounds that were formerly Reese's main source of support, but now Cardoso is shopping for groceries, cooking, and still taking the leftovers, and Rhea is stuck with the check.
Angel Reese is smooth 6'3". To jump like that, grab him, rim, and dunk him, let's be honest, that's bounce for a girl. That's bounce. Now, some of y'all are probably wondering why I said she could dunk. I mean, obviously, Shorty can't dunk now. We see the game, she barely get off the ground. She get like an inch off the ground. Anyway, the reason for that is she had a big injury in her leg a long time ago. Now she has a metal rod in her leg.
Let's add this up, then. Caitlin is dominating the scoreboards and forcing defenders to reevaluate their life decisions as she enters the WNBA regular season like she has for years. As if the preseason hadn't already been a sobering experience for Ree, Angel, on the other hand, is stuck trying to figure out how to shoot 25% from the field without the fans moaning every time she touches the ball. The league dared to set the start of the Sky season against, wait for it, Caitlin Clark's Fever from Indiana. Yes, Saturday is the heavyweight matchup that we've all been anticipating, but one team has been practicing with a punching bag while the other has just been punching air. Caitlin versus Angel was meant to be the rivalry of the decade, but thus far, it appears to be more of a one-woman show, with Caitlin doing everything but selling popcorn during timeouts, and she's even making inadvertent jokes. Missing bunnies, allowing her defender to enter the paint in a nonchalant manner, and appearing completely perplexed when Cardoso grabs another rebound that she believed to be hers by divine right. And
you wonder why you have the least amount of fans showing up in attendance at your game. That all has something to do with it. You're not relatable. You're not likable. We'll only hear from you when you're showing half off, your body, or you're showing off what you're wearing, right? Trying to make a fashion statement, showing off your new weave. It's so unbelievable. You're showing off your new lashes, right? But you don't talk basketball now.
Cardoso is taking those carefully chosen layups that Reese used to eat in college like they were buffet samples. But this isn't LSU anymore, and the WNBA doesn't give out participation trophies. It's not just bad, it's starting to look personal. Reese must be feeling it. Imagine getting hyped up as the face of the next generation, only to have your own teammates show you what paint dominance really looks like. Cardoso's efficiency and hustle positioning are screaming. You may have followers, but I have the fundamentals, and you can bet Reese knows it. She's stuck in the middle, too ineffective to be the scorer, too visible to be the rebounder, and too visible to hide behind the bench. But hey, it's only preseason, right? Now that the real games are about to begin, Angel's stat line is beginning to look more like an awkward footnote than a rookie resume. She's watching Caitlin Clark become the league's most talked about player overnight, and she's watching Cardoso become the Sky inside anchor.
According to Forbes, Angel Reese is arguably the biggest star in the WNBA because she has more social media followers than everyone else. But like I say all the time, popularity on social media, that does not equate to the main.
We haven't even discussed what transpires when Rhea is benched after receiving 2 fast fouls in the first 5 minutes and Caitlin begins to hammer the Sky defense with one-legged fadeaways. The components of a reality check are all present in Saturday's game. Angel Reese is into this game with a chip on her shoulder the size of a news conference. And it's not the nice kind of chip, the sort that says, I'm overcompensating because things aren't going the way I thought. Caitlin Clark is about to put on a clinic. The rivalry was created on college hype magazine covers and Instagram tales, and it's almost poetic, but in the professionals, pick and roll switches, court space, and really making your shots are what determine the outcome. Angel's changeover was more akin to someone stumbling over the bench while attempting to tie their shoes, whereas Caitlin's transition was seamless like a well-rehearsed piano recital. Remember, this isn't a case of rookie jitters. Rhea has now participated in 2 complete games, which is sufficient sample size to understand that perhaps defeating a 6'4" freshman in the NCAA isn't quite the same as going up against seasoned WNBA veterans who know exactly how to point out all of your weaknesses. If she had believed she had breathing room before Cardoso simply locked that door and threw away the key, because every minute Cardoso outplays Rhea is a minute Rhea isn't making in the rotation and in the WNBA, and that's how narratives change in real life.
Folks, the Chicago Sky Game 1 of the preseason was underway last night. Angel Reese looked pretty good, but we're going to get into that momentarily. On the negative side, Angel Reese fans, LSU fans, all of you who tell us, oh my God, what a big superstar.
Although the marketing crew is presumably still sharing gorgeous photos of Ree and Sky Blue, you have to wonder what the team is thinking at the moment. The coaching staff is probably holding some late-night meetings that sound a lot like they are discussing the starting lineup. Reese needs a miracle on Saturday to show up and remind everyone why she was the biggest name in women's college basketball last year. But if her preseason is any indication, Caitlin Clark might not just outperform her. She might completely humiliate her because the one thing Clark has that Reese doesn't currently have is consistency. Every night, Angel, she brings drama, missed layups, and maybe a few rebounds if Cardoso decides to be generous. This isn't the preseason, though, and the lights are bright, and Angel Reese would be better hope she remembers her lines or Caitlin is going to turn this into a one-woman show.
Can we know how you felt about your play out there? You're 2 for 8. Can we know how you feel about your new role, supposedly being a point forward? You know, damn point forward. A point forward is a person that actually creates shots for others, easy buckets for others. That's what a point guard. Caitlin Clark don't just pass the ball down to Leah Boston. She turn around and make a layup and get an assist. She don't just get those kind of assists where she really didn't have nothing to do with getting Camila Cardoso or one of her players an easy basket. She's not getting nobody no easy basket. It's all off the execution of the play. Whether somebody cut back door and she make a good pass. She can make good passes, but a point forward, somebody who actually orchestrates the offense.
Although the marketing crew is presumably still sharing gorgeous photos of Ree and Sky Blue, you have to wonder what the team is thinking at the moment. The coaching staff is probably holding some late-night meetings that sound a lot like they are discussing the starting lineup. Reese needs a miracle on Saturday to show up and remind everyone why she was the biggest name in women's college basketball last year. But if her preseason is any indication, Caitlin Clark might not just outperform her. She might completely humiliate her because the one thing Clark has that Reese doesn't currently have is consistency. Every night, Angel, she brings drama, missed layups, and maybe a few rebounds if Cardoso decides to be generous. This isn't the preseason, though, and the lights are bright, and Angel Reese would be better hope she remembers her lines or Caitlin is going to turn this into a one-woman show.
So I think it's time to finally, end the argument. End the argument that there is any sort of other needle mover that is even remotely close to Caitlin Clark in the WNBA. And again, the reason why we've got Haley Van Lith up is because it was Haley Van Lith's return as well as Angel Reese returning. Angel was not the only person. They had 2 players returning. However, right now in Carver, there are no tickets left for under $200.
Let's discuss body language. Reese's in-game demeanor has changed from assured queen to perplexed. In record time, Cardoso is out here snatching rebounds like it's her birthright and making layup drills out of putbacks, while Mal Walker is giving teammates the side eye, looking worn out halfway through the second quarter, and generally acting like someone who was forced into a pickup game against their will. The first missed free throw on Saturday will be breaking, and it's bad when fans are already speculating about rotational changes before the WNBA season has even begun. The media is swirling like sharks at an all-you-can-eat buffet. Angel. The thing about professional basketball is that when the game clock starts, it doesn't matter how many followers you have, how many nil deals you signed, or how many Bayou Barbie headlines you created in college. Angel is beginning to learn the hard way that the WNBA isn't there to validate your brand. Rather, it's here to expose whether you can actually hoop with the big dogs. Reese implodes Sky coach considering starting the mascot instead. Okay, maybe not that dramatic, but you get the idea.